Record haze of smoke from Canadian wildfires is now spreading. Tonight, more than 120 million Americans across 20 states now at risk. The system still locked in place. The stunning images. New York City recorded its worst air in decades in the last 24 hours. And tonight, take a look. That orange sky from the hazardous air has now reached Washington, D.C. You can see the Washington Monument there shrouded in the haze. Tonight, the toxic air triggering an air quality emergency in Philadelphia. In New York City, so many in masks again tonight. Just outside New York, racing at Belmont Raceway canceled today, 2 days ahead of the Triple Crown Belmont Stakes. The smoke stretching to the Midwest, the Chicago skyline also orange. And tonight, the smoke causing more air travel disruptions, ground stops for a time at a number of major airports today. LaGuardia Airport, Philadelphia had a ground stop, Washington, D.C. too. And the White House postponing a Pride Day celebration on the White House lawn until Saturday. Here's the map.
I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to my other apostles, a great millstone, peace and salutation to the hopeful members of the elect, the Bacharim, the house of David, that has been preordained, predestined to get delivered in these last end times and to be the ruling governing body of the nation of Yasha'Allah. And we are in the time of prophecy indeed. This fire that started in Canada and Quebec, that's spreading across parts of America, like the northeastern part, all right? This is a sign that America will soon be destroyed. We are at the end. America will be destroyed by fire. This fire is causing havoc, destroying agriculture. People that have asthma are being sent to the hospital. Air travel is being delayed because of this smoke and this fire and the atmospheres. They can't fly anywhere. And these are definitely prophetic times we are living in. Okay? We are at the end of the end. We are at the end of this so-called white man. His true biblical name is Esau, or the Edomites. Esau being the progenitor of the Edomites, the self-proclaimed white people. We are at the end of their rulership. These elites, these global elites that run this world, I'm talking about you Rockefellers, you Rothschilds, you DuPonts, you Gettys. They're about to initiate their ultimate goal that they've been waiting for before the destruction, of course, of this place has to come, before the destruction of America being nuked with nuclear missiles. At the same time, our Lord Yahweh, all right, meaning he will deliver. It's Yahweh, and you must call upon those names, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, to be delivered. That's one of the first steps, is learning the name, okay? It's not Jehovah, and it's not Jesus. The letter J didn't come into the English alphabet until the 1600s. And our Lord looks like a so-called black man too. The image that you see of modern day Jesus Christ, all right, which is not his true name, that's just a title that they put, but they use that image. A real man lived during the Renaissance named Cesare Borgia, part of the Borgia family. But I digress, all right? But we are at the end, all right? These global elites are going to initiate their ultimate goal. That's to chip everybody, okay? That's why you're seeing more digital ID coming in, the CBDC digital currency, because they're conditioning the masses to accept that, to go digitally. So when they set up as part of their MOTB, and when they set up that chip, all right, it's already set up. It's already, it's already here. But when it's really fully mandated, they got everyone locked down. They got everyone in that web already. Many are gonna accept it, and ultimately this devil's gonna come down with great wrath. All right, and it's gonna be forced unless you live off the grid. So let's continue this wildfire that's affecting 90 million people.
Again tonight, The wildfire smoke forecast this evening still pouring in. Of course, that Omega block that Rob told us about last night, still in place tonight. How long so before it shifts? We are told the real relief will come next week. He'll chart this out. Of course, what about the hundreds of wildfires still burning in Canada? We're told tonight that at least half of them are still burning out of control. President Biden speaking with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau today. Rob Marciano, as I said, timing this out, and ABC's Trevor Ault leading us off tonight.
Tonight, that monster plume of wildfire smoke spreading deeper into the U.S. after New York City registered what's likely its worst air quality of all time Wednesday. Cities to the south and west, from New Jersey and Pennsylvania to D.C. and beyond, enveloped in that time.
Yeah, man. The sky, the air quality is low. It's hazardous now. The air quality is hazardous. And if you don't think these things are done by coincidences, I'm talking about these train derailments, these farms that suddenly got caught on fire, that been sabotaged in some type of way. If you don't think these are coincidence, all right, or you think it's a coincidence, I should say, Salakia. If you think these are just a coincidence, you're dead wrong. All right. Ultimately, it's the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. But Esau Edom, he's using his left hand. All right, that's his sword. But Esau Edom, these elites, they're doing it because they're breaking down the economy. They're breaking down the food production. All right. Ultimately, so when they shut down this place, it's gonna be these people are going to be on their knees begging for that C-hip. All right. The minds of these people are already through. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And we are measuring that time, all right, diligently, going through the scriptures, reading, understanding the breakdowns and prophecy. It's ultimately prophecy, all right? We are the watchmen. So we're looking and we're matching the times with prophecy, okay? Because that's what it's all about. It's all about prophecy. Revelation 19, verse 10 says what? The testimony of Yahweh Shai is a spirit of prophecy. So if you're testifying for Yahweh Shai, you'll be in the spirit of prophesying. You'll be looking, you'll be researching, be watching the news, looking up, good and informed news articles on different websites and platforms. I go on like Zero Hedge. That's a good media outlet. Al Jazeera. But either way, we're watching. All right, we're not being stagnant. No, we're watching and we're matching it with scriptures and prophecy, and we're out to tell and warn the people because that's what the Lord told us to do. All right. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I told thee before, so these were already written, all right? The vision is yet for an appointed time. Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, all right? And that vision is speaking, or next month, they're going to implement that Fed Now, which is a instant payment system, all right? But it's going to be ran by the government. I mean, all this is ran by the government anyways, but it's going to be full authorized by them. Cash is going to be obsolete real soon, just like in China. They hardly use cash ever. All right, it's all on their phone. And it says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and that's been happening, all right? That's been happening on a whole another level. This year alone, what happened to Turkey? Earthquake that killed 3,400 people. All right, and you still see uproars and riots around the world. 2020 was like the craziest, but you still see them. They're still here. Like I always mention, France and Paris. All right, they're lighting up, they're gassing up and setting on fire the police. They're getting more violent. Okay, and it says, and then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and the end is manifest. Here's the point. Even so the times also the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. And this fire, this is definitely endings and effects and signs. This is an effect and sign right here. All right. You see? All right. That's one of them. And then you got the chariots, okay? Crazy weather, like these hurricanes that have been hitting. They even say El Nino is supposed to come and hit Cali. We've been waiting for that since I don't know how long. They've been talking about that for like 10 years now. But hey, shit, if it's meant to happen, if it's meant to come, hey, again, it's all part of prophecy. All right, it'll come on a due date. The Lord, you know, issues out everything. All right, He controls everything. Okay, so let's go back. But yeah, man, hey, people are, hey, 144. Hey, call Allah Yahweh Bashim Al Shah.
Toxic haze.
My daughter's got asthma really bad, so she's just stuck in the house. She can't really come out at all.
Overnight, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania hitting 491 on the air quality index's 1 to 500 scale, even worse than New York City's 484 on Wednesday. In Washington, D.C., the city's first code purple air quality.
And, it's beautiful because Washington, D.C. is like the state, It's also one of them three frogs, all right? The Vatican, that's the religion part. London, that's like the financial system part, all right? And the DC is like the military part of Esau Edom's kingdom, okay? But that's America's capital. So, look how it looks apocalyptic, It looks real eerie. That's showing you the end of America, all right? America's days ahead are very dark and gloomy indeed. And it's gonna get worse. All right, it's gonna get worse on a whole nother level. Daniel's the 12th chapter, verse 1, a time like never before. All right. I mean, we know what's gonna happen, but even we're gonna be somewhat surprised, like, oh, what the man, he saw this against the Lord's left hand, all right? So the Lord's controlling all this. But Esau's gonna come out with super soldiers and Iron Man suits, and it says newly created creatures and apparitions, and man, Leviathan, World War III, all out hell breaking loose, Just, man, people laid out, People laid out, back to the spirit world, just laid out, they physical shell laying on that pavement. And you're gonna see a lot of that too.
Advisory, signifying very unhealthy air.
When they told me it was cold purple, I thought it was getting better. So we're not even used to this language to deal with this type of air quality.
Our Rob Marciano on the National Mall.
Yesterday was bad. Today, even worse here in D.C. Smoke shrouding our nation's capital. At the other end of the mall, standing at 550 feet tall, the Washington Monument, can't even see it.
The White House forced to postpone a pride event on the South Lawn that some 2,000...
They was going to do that, but that got postponed, And this fire, man, that's how you know the Lord is angry with this place.
People were set to attend, and the Nationals calling off tonight's baseball game. In Newark, New Jersey, the state's largest school district canceling all classes. Health officials warning continued exposure to the particulates in the air is especially harmful to young children.
This is because they breathe more air relative to their size and are more active than most adults.
Parents now told to watch for signs like chest pain, shortness of breath, and wheezing. And the source of the smoke, those wildfires burning in Canada. Hundreds of them still out of control in multiple parts of the country. The U.S. has sent assets and more than 600 firefighters to Canada so far. President Biden speaking with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, promising to send more air tankers and any additional help they need to put out the fires, calling them a stark reminder of the impacts of climate change. And David, New York's governor says they'll be sending forest rangers to Canada, joining firefighters from other border states like New Hampshire and Maine. And while New York City's air quality has clearly improved, it is still registering in the top 5 worst major cities in the entire world. David.
All right, Trevor Alt tonight. Trevor, thank you. Let's get right to senior meteorologist.
Go back again.
Maine. And while New York City's air quality has clearly improved, it is still registering in the top 5 worst major cities in the entire world.
Wow.
David.
Man.
All right, Trevor Alt tonight. Trevor, thank you. Let's get right to senior meteorologist Rob Marciano, who is timing this out for us again tonight. Hey, Rob. Hi, David. I don't see widespread relief.
Haze and smog fueled by hundreds of wildfires in Canada, many still burning out of control, is still affecting tens of millions of Americans living in areas with hazardous air conditions. Lilia Luciano has a story from New York.
A heavy layer of smoke covered
Man,
New
look at
York
that.
City.
That looks crazy. That looks like a real apocalyptic movie. Like, that looks insane. That's like no death is in the air, man. Whew. Yeah, that looks, man.
A dark orange glow
Dark
Wednesday.
days are coming in.
More than a dozen states faced air quality alerts, with the haze obscuring the Statue of Liberty, as well as downtown Philadelphia and historic landmarks in the nation's capital.
All New Yorkers should limit outdoor activity to the greatest extent possible.
In New York, Mayor Eric Adams said the air quality was at its worst since the 1960s. On Broadway, the conditions prompted 2 musicals to cancel their shows. The New York Liberty postponed its WNBA game, and the Yankees rescheduled their matchup with the Chicago White Sox, turning away some fans at the stadium.
Definitely for the air quality, it should be the right decision.
And these motherfuckers is wearing a mask. Like, the idiots. Wearing a mask is going to make it worse. Unless it's like one of them carbon dioxide ones, like the protectors, because you're breathing in your own, carbon monoxide, not carbon dioxide, but carbon monoxide. All right, you're breathing that in. Actually, let me look that up. Hold on, I gotta fact check that now. Carbon. Okay, I think it's carbon dioxide. Can't believe I'm forgetting this. All right, CO2, carbon dioxide. So you're breathing in your own carbon dioxide, which is acidic for your bloodstream. Yeah, carbon dioxide is like the smoke, the gas that come from cars and such things like that. Okay. I believe you leave like your stove on too. That gas that seeps out, it's carbon monoxide, like a poisonous gas. Carbon dioxide is what you breathe in. You breathe out. The trees breathe in the carbon dioxide. We breathe in oxygen, all right? But you're breathing that back in. That's making your bloodstream acidic. All right, you can look it up, okay? You're not supposed to breathe in your own carbon dioxide, and you're taking away the trees' form of their oxygen because they breathe in that carbon dioxide. So you're taking away the trees, the plants, all right, that need that carbon dioxide.
Comes after an unusually early and intense start to Canada's wildfire season. More than 400 wildfires are burning across the country, over half of them still out of control.
This is a visceral reminder of the climate crisis that's in front of us.
Vijay LeMay is a senior scientist with the National Resources Defense Council. He warned that as climate change makes the weather more extreme, the public health risks grow. In this case, he pointed to elevated levels of PM 2.5, toxic microscopic particles that are carried by the wildfire smoke.
We have never seen over the past 2 decades PM 2.5 levels like they are in New York City. We're seeing air quality levels that are 3 to 5 times higher than that national limit.
Health officials say people should stay indoors as much as possible. The most vulnerable people are young children, the elderly, and anybody with pre-existing heart or lung conditions such as asthma.
Another one.
Welcome to the News Hour. A heavy pall of polluted air still blankets much of the eastern U.S. tonight. It may not dissipate for days as fires in Canada send vast curtains of smoke drifting south.
The bad air has officials warning, in effect, that breathing can be hazardous to your health. It's also scrambling schedules from airports to schools to the White House. Stephanie Tsai has our report.
A huge swath of the country spent another day shrouded in haze. This morning, smoke still obscured parts of the Manhattan skyline.
The smoke obliterated the island yesterday, so it's obviously not just a passing phase, of wind changes, but it's serious pollution in the air.
As hundreds of wildfires rage out of control in Canada, winds have carried the smoke farther south, all the way to Raleigh, North Carolina, which woke up to hazy skies. And in the nation's capital, a blanket of smoke lay over the White House, blurring the Washington Monument in the distance. White House officials postponed tonight's outdoor Pride celebration until Saturday. Millions of people were under hazardous air quality advisories today from the northeast to the south and parts.
So that's where it's hidden there. All right. Or these are the air quality index. My bad. I wish it did show a map, but it is like in this region, the Midwest, northeastern parts of New York, of course. But I even heard it's kind of reached Texas. But the air quality, though.
Of the Midwest, authorities advise people to stay indoors, especially young children, the elderly, and those with respiratory issues.
Level of danger compared to
allergy and immunology specialists.
Let's go back.
The Midwest.
Yeah, look at that. Unhealthy. Look at the New York area. Man, we gotta pray for the apostles and all the Achaim. That's crazy. But that's about it. I gotta actually head on back to this plantation. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, double honor to my apostles, a great millstone, and peace and salutation to the hopeful members of the elect. Shalom.